So from when you first came here, so how long have you been here now?
Nearly 3 years.
Yeah, so from when you first came here to now, has what you saw were the perceived needs, have they changed?
Yeah, hugely.
Yeah.
We saw things that, because we work with the poorest of the poor, these people have usually only been to primary school, so even filling out a grant application, so that's where they get for the funding and all that, we've had to simplify that a lot more without changing our values and things, so we keep the requirements the same. We've seen the real struggles as they are, not what we thought they were, for people who are here. So, for example, you live in the country, which we call upcountry, even if it's down. Just to get a quote for, say, a deep bore well, you might have to travel 5 hours, ask them, request for them to come, it's like days and days of work. So we've seen it's more complicated than what we thought. And even with the Girl Project, that didn't come about until we moved here. And then we saw that many young girls, we'd heard about it, but saw that many young girls didn't have sanitary products and didn't go to school.
Yeah. So even in the couple of weeks I've stayed here, I've seen that how hard things can be and how frustrating they can be. So I want to ask you, what have you learned about yourself in the time that you've been here?
I'm a cross the T and dot the I person, but I've learned that sometimes you've got to bend or you'll break, and this is a place, as somebody put it, you see how big a person you are on the inside. And I think I'm much bigger now, and I'm definitely a much more aggressive driver on the roads and aware.
You have to be,
Yeah.
from what I've seen. So what have you learned about your family?
Well, see, we've moved countries twice. We've started over twice with nothing. And usually when that happens, your family pulls together really well. We've had some really tough times here, but then lots of people in the world have tough times. So, no, we're pretty good. I mean, the hardest thing for us is we've got our youngest daughter in New Zealand, but she's married to a great guy and things like that, so that's cool. But that's never fun. But she's lived overseas before, so now it's our turn to live overseas.
Yeah. So what would be your priorities for the next 6 to 12 months? Just the short-term ones.
Short term. Talking about if we have the funds to do what we want to do?
Yep.
Okay, so we have in Tanzania, we've got the Name a Babies Home. It's 45,000 Australian dollars. They do an incredible work there with abandoned babies, and they're building a new facility, and they're on the ground now building it, so they need water. In southern Sudan, close to the northern Ugandan border, there is a facility there for us to be able to do a deep bore well, which would help hundreds and hundreds of people. We've got 2 deep bore wells that we've done. This is in Kenya, but we want to put the hand pumps on top.
Yeah.
They're about $5,000 each. And you name it, it just keeps going. Yeah. So that's it. And of course expand our Girl Project.
Yeah.
So that alone, we have a school in Rwanda that we've helped before. They need some more water there. They've done a really good job.
Yeah.
You name it, we can do it.
Yeah, okay. And in a longer term, so say 3 to 5 years, is
Okay.
there something you can put right out there as a
Well, we definitely want to do something in Ethiopia.
Yeah.
There's a huge need there. Pete, my husband, has been to Ethiopia, and he says that Kenya is much better off than here for infrastructure. Of course, when you travel out of town, then it changes a bit. So we definitely want to do something there, something in the Congo, and more projects in Tanzania would be good. In the Congo, there's a hospital there called Heal Africa, and they do a phenomenal job, and there's very little in the Congo, so they do a really good job. So we'd like to be able to support that with some shower curtains, some toilets, all that type of thing.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I've had a look at some of their stuff. Okay, so if you had unlimited access to dollars,
I wish, yeah.
if you had if it was unlimited, where where would you direct them straight away?
Okay.
That would make the most difference.
Yeah, that makes the most difference. I would build a team here in Kenya, which we started doing, but they're pretty much all volunteers. But if you really want to be effective, you want to have a good team here in Kenya, great team in Australia, build one in New Zealand, and then one probably on the east coast of the States.
Yeah.
That's what I would but to put the money in the country, I'll build a team here because there is lots of money to access within Kenya, and there's a lot of work to get done. So, for example, schools, we can never cover enough schools to do an education program. Community development, at the moment, we both go to an area and do that, but we could actually have locals who are trained up. So, spend a bit of money on training and employing people, because then you can just duplicate your work so much. So that's a much better investment.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and we would probably, if we had $1 million, we would get a drilling rig, because that would save lots and lots of money.
Yeah.
Make it more self-sustainable. So you do some commercial jobs and then you do some freebies.
Yeah.
In case somebody's got $1 million, they just have
If you don't mind. Okay. So, what motivates you? It's. I mean, it's tough. It's frustrating. There appears to be so much to do yet. Although I can already see, so many things are doable. But what motivates you to stay on a personal level?
What motivates us to stay? We've had a lot that says don't stay, so let me try and think of what. The people are fantastic. Love the team we work with, they're great. And you're just meant to know where you're meant to be. And for us, this is where it's home. And honestly, I could do the work of BeyondWater anywhere in the world. But here is the feeling of home, the belonging, and that type of thing. The needs will always be there, the resources will always be smaller, but you just go, well, we will do what we will do, And we thought about, we could go back, but being on the ground here makes us probably 5 times more effective. So that's a real big motivation to stay here, and
especially for building your local team. You have to be here, I would imagine.
In a place like East Africa, you've really got to be hands-on. And we've known lots of people who've done all sorts of different projects, and they've said exactly the same. And also, it's not about us, white people, coming to do our thing. It's about empowering the locals to be able to do their thing, and we're just a support network. We're way too old to worry about egos of proving ourselves. But satisfaction of seeing people change forever. Even like this morning, I got an email from a project that's 3/4 finished, and we've just got to put the hand pump on top, and he's like, we still don't have water. They haven't had water for 27 years, plus more than that actually. But we get satisfied, the satisfaction comes when that project's finished, and then they have ownership. So that's a big motivation.
Great feeling. So do you find it difficult to stay the course, as in the projects that you want to get done and stay, but there's other need, or the more people you talk to, the more relationships you build, that you can get pulled sideways? Do you find that difficult, because there is so much need in this country?
No, it's more the frustration point comes when the need is big and you don't have the money to do it. When you have to turn people away, and you get emails all the time from people that you know or have association with saying, can you help with this? Do you have a spare $30,000 for that? So it's not really getting distracted. The distraction is having to raise the funds, which is what's good. That's the big thing, because you're split. So either you have to spend a third of your time fundraising, whether that's overseas, on tours, emails, campaigns, whatever, or you have a team back in your home country that fundraising for you. And that's actually a much more effective way to do it, is have somebody back there. And then you visit every year or something like that, which is what we do. So just put a face to it.
And I would imagine relationship building is paramount.
Huge. We're really lucky because we are unusual. Like I've told you, we get to mix both the locals and the expat community. Most expats only stay 2 to 3 years, but it's really good to have your foot in both camps, if you like. And most people don't get that; they just stay with the expats or just with the locals, and we get to do both all the time, which is great. We love it.
Well, I think you're doing an awesome job, and thank you for showing me around your national park.
Let's go see some more animals.
Your backyard. It only took us 30 minutes to get here from their place, and there's zebras and giraffes and rhinos and lions walking around. So,
No,
thank you. Thanks, Sharon.
That's okay.